Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. It's Adam22 here with your man AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first off, rest in peace to Slim400, a rising star in the West Coast hip-hop scene. He has been reported to have been fatally shot last night. TMZ confirmed the incident occurred on Wednesday night in Los Angeles and Inglewood. Per the report, it's currently unclear what led to the shooting and how many suspects were involved. A local report from ABC7, which does not mention Slim400 by name but says that the victim was a musical artist, added the police officers were on patrol in the region near 7th and Manchester shortly before 8 p.m. when they heard gunshots nearby. Officers are said to have discovered a man on the ground suffering from gunshot wounds, at which point paramedics quickly took the victim to a nearby hospital where he died. Legendary rap journalist Jeff Weiss had this to say on Twitter: R.I.P. Slim400, a Compton gangster rap prototype, an ambassador for a tradition, lineage, and history, who made a whole lot of hard-as-hell rap songs full of sober gravity and blunt force. Slim400 had previously narrowly escaped death when he was ambushed and shot 9 times while visiting his family in Compton in the summer of 2019. Born to military parents in Germany, Slim moved back to Los Angeles as a young child and was raised in Compton. He was later discovered and signed by the now non-existent Pushes Inc. music label, the same one made famous by YG and Mustard. The Compton rapper was said to be private about his personal life, but Slim400 reportedly had a daughter as well. He was just 33. Rest in peace. So yeah, last night you broke the news to us in the group chat that Slim400 had been taken from this world. You probably known him even longer than I have. I interviewed him a couple different times, went to the neighborhood one time and filmed in a backyard with him. How'd you meet him early on?
I met bro years and years ago. You know, just being doing music and being on LA, and you know, we did a gang of songs together, a couple of videos and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Bro was a real good, solid individual, start to finish. Always spoke his mind, you know what I mean? Always was full of life, full of energy, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, every couple of years throughout me knowing him, it was like he would have some crazy situation, like, you know, getting shot or whatever, and he always just pulled through. And I mean, it's just super sad seeing that finally he's been taken from us. So, I mean, rest in peace to Slim. I don't know. It's a tough one for the city to take for sure.
Yeah, bro. It's, you know, man, and once again, another child growing up without their father. Oof. Man, I'm, you know, getting tired of having to report on this stuff and keep hearing it, and when it's somebody close to home, it's even worse.
Yeah, rest in peace, Slim400.
Next story. Travis Scott broke his silence about the Astroworld tragedy in a 50-minute conversation with Charlamagne the God, and said he's been on an emotional roller coaster in recent days. Charlamagne asked Travis to explain his intention as for why he decided to sit down for an interview a month after the tragic events, as well as the pending litigations against him and the festival's organizers, he explained.
I don't personally have an intention. I just feel like something happened, and I feel like it's just, I needed just a way to kind of like communicate, you know? One, you know, the families are grieving, you know, it's fans that experienced something, it's fans that came to a show. You know, and I feel like I just have like I've always been that person to always see things through with the people that shared experiences with me. And, you know, it just, things happen, and you know, I just kind of, you know, it's been such a time, and I've just been trying to just really figure things out, you know.
Travis continued telling Charlamagne this.
It wasn't really until like minutes until like the press conference until I figured out exactly what happened.
Yeah, people said they collectively heard folks screaming help every time you stopped the song to get your attention. Did you hear any of those screams?
Nah, man. And you know, it's so crazy because I'm that artist too. Like, you know, anytime you can hear something like that, you want to stop the show. You want to make sure, you know, fans get the proper attention they need, you know. And anytime I could see anything like that, I did, you know. You know, I stopped it like a couple times to just make sure everybody was okay. And I just really just go off the, you know, the fans' energy as a collective, you know, call and response. And I just didn't hear that. You know, I got music, I got my in-ears, but I just didn't hear that, you know?
Travis Scott also said the show continued for another 40 minutes after Houston police determined it was a mass casualty event because he claimed he was only told the show must end after guests, in this case, Drake, appeared on stage. However, Travis said he wasn't told why the performance was being cut short. When asked whether he felt a sense of responsibility for the events, Travis Scott said his responsibility ultimately lies in figuring out what went wrong this year's Astroworld and how to prevent these types of incidents at future shows. 10 attendees of the 2021 Astroworld Festival have died, including 9-year-old Ezra Blount. As we previously reported, the child's family denied Travis Scott's offer of covering funeral expenses. Earlier this week, TMZ reported Travis denied the allegations, negligence among them, and several lawsuits against him in connection with the Delhi festival.
You know, anytime you catch a case legally, your lawyers are going to tell you, don't say anything. Don't say anything publicly. If you've said anything, delete it. You know, they always try to encourage you to stay as quiet as possible whenever you're facing a legal challenge. And it feels like we are really in the age of rappers and really anyone who has social media just not caring or listening and being willing to sort of put getting their message out to their fans above them potentially staying out of trouble in court. I'm not sure if Travis Scott necessarily said anything that seemed all that incriminating to me. I saw a lot of people basically suggesting that this interview was a horrible idea on Twitter. I will listen to the first half of it. I didn't really get anything from it, to be totally honest. The only thing that I got from it was that Travis seems like he's genuinely hurt and deeply upset about this. Like, from reading his emotions in the video, he definitely seemed like he was really scarred by this whole experience. But, you know, what can he really say aside from he didn't know that it was happening? He feels horrible knowing that it happened, etc. It's like there isn't really much he can say. And I feel like even anything he does say puts him at risk of basically incriminating himself in terms of these legal challenges. Yeah,
I just feel like a lot of times people forget to be a human. You know what I mean? Travis Scott is a hero to a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the fact that a 9-year-old boy was there to see him, that lets you know, like, the scope of, you know, his audience and his range and stuff like that. And, you know, I know people probably was looking to him to say things and, you know, wanted to get his point across and stuff like that. Because I know before they were reporting he's just sitting in his house and that enraged a lot of other people and stuff like that. So, I mean, just him sitting down and even having a conversation against probably one of the biggest legal battles that I fucking probably heard of when it come down to something like this. I mean, to me, that speaks volume. But I don't know what he said in there because I only got to watch like 15 minutes of it. So, but what I seen, it was just really nothing. It was just,
it was really him just like saying stuff that we already knew that he probably felt, which is like obviously any human being would be upset about, you know, 10 of their fans dying in the crowd of their show. But I mean, also when you think about it from his perspective, yes, his lawyers maybe would have advised him not to go out and speak publicly about this. I'm sure they had a whole lot of comments to him about you shouldn't say this and please don't say that, etc. But if you're him, he's gone a couple of months being quiet and not having any communication with his audience. It's like he's kind of just going to look more and more guilty or more and more ashamed or more at fault to his audience because some of these legal challenges are going to take years and years and years before they're done. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still dealing with a lot of this shit in 5 years. So what's he going to do? He's just going to go completely silent for a half a decade? I don't think he was planning on that. So, I mean, this is probably a necessary part of him making things right, at least with the audience, and at least letting them know that he is concerned and upset. But yeah, I didn't really get much from it either.
But what can you say anyway? Yeah. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you know, there's families grieving. You know, they want answers. I don't know if necessarily they want it strictly from Travis Scott. There's a lot of moving pieces involved in this, and then, you know, the facts got to come out before people can, like, place sole judgment. I don't think that one individual person is wrong in this whole thing.
Well, that's the problem, is that the more he talks about it, the more to the public it's going to look like he's just passing the blame. He's just sliding it on over to somebody else. When in reality, that probably is the truth, is that, you know, he went up, he performed, he didn't pick out the security guards, he didn't pick out how the stadium was going to be designed and how the crowd was going to be managed and everything. Those are things you put into the hands of other people when you do one of these shows. But, like, obviously that's not what the parents of these kids want to hear. So the more he says that, the more insensitive it's going to look. And the whole thing, it just really puts him in a bad spot where almost anything he says besides just allowing himself to just look upset is going to be taken a different kind of way.
Yeah.
So good luck to Travis with everything, and of course prayers out to all the victims. YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back real soon. Rest in peace, Slim400.